Hello, Nerd Universe, and welcome to the 9th episode of Insert Nerd Topic Here. We're going to be talking about psych thrillers.
That's right. We're going to be talking about movies that keep you scratching your head at the end and keep you wondering what exactly happened.
What did we just watch? We are joined today by my friend Kaitlyn.
Yes, Kaitlyn is here. Hello.
We like having her on here, so we keep having her on here.
Yes.
We have a couple movies, we have a couple shows, kind of. I have a book recommendation or two maybe throw around, so let's get into it.
Sure.
So, leading up to this episode, we have literally just finished watching some psych thrillers. So, do you guys want to talk about the ones we just watched?
So we just, literally last night we finished American Psycho, which I know I had never seen before. Caroline, I don't think you had ever seen it before either. And Kaitlyn, you'd seen it, but you're the one who recommended it to us in the first place.
Yeah.
We were contemplating about the end of that movie for a while.
We went so far as to start researching what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, well, it's based off a book, so
Yeah.
we had to research what the actual author of the book intended the ending to be like and what the directors and writers wanted their ending to be like. Apparently, it's just supposed to be ambiguous.
Right.
And, no one's supposed to know.
I mean, the author
was like, it's not supposed to be answered.
The author said that this is not even supposed to be a movie because movies demand answers.
Yes.
Right, which
visual storytelling makes people have to have an answer. That's part of the audience member watching the movie is being rewarded in the end, and something like American Psycho just doesn't have that, which then that gives you an opportunity as an individual to pick whatever ending you want. So I don't know if we all came to the conclusion after watching last night, I believe, what we think happened, but we all have a good idea.
I think we were generally, most of it was the same, but I think we have nuances.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, in the end of the movie, what is it? It's Patrick Bateman.
Yeah.
That's his name. Patrick Bateman, who is the protagonist of the movie, he may or may not have imagined the entire thing. The entire thing might have gone on down in his head. It's entirely up for speculation. So what do you guys think happened? Do you think it was all in his head, or do you think parts of it were real?
So I definitely think that he killed some people. Like that homeless guy with his dog.
Yeah.
That guy's dead.
Yeah, I mean, that happened pretty early on in the movie. So, but I'm talking about the big montage sequence. Do you think that whole thing was
No,
fake?
there is no way that he went and shot cop cars with such precision.
With just a hand pistol.
With a hand pistol.
Right. Yeah, it makes sense. I agree with that.
Also, why there was no newspaper the next day being like, this just went down. This just happened.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. Why is nobody talking about it?
Do you think he killed Alan?
No,
Paul
he did
Allen?
not kill Paul Allen.
There's no way because his lawyer at the end even said dude, I just ate with him.
I just had lunch with Paul Allen in London 10 days ago.
He's just the fact that the lawyer has to set him straight at the end just shows that he is not right in his mind. And as Caroline mentioned, that it's an unaccountable storyteller. What did you say?
Unreliable narrator.
Yeah, that.
There you go.
Take that from your English classes.
So
Unreliable narrator.
I gotta ask, do you think American Psycho was a good psych thriller?
Yes.
Yes.
In the
And
traditional
why?
term for psych thriller. Because I was analyzing it the whole time. That's how I know that it's a good psych thriller, is when I analyze it the whole time, and then at the end, I'm still analyzing it, unsure of what my answer is. That's how I know if it's good.
Exactly. This was my third time watching it, and I still couldn't give you an answer on what exactly went down. I knew the gist of what was going to happen, so I didn't try to spoil it for you, but I honestly couldn't have told you because each time I watched it, it was slightly different. But no matter when I watched it or how I watched it, I was still compelled to analyze it the whole time, and it was just a very good mind workout in a way because I honestly didn't know what to think.
I think the best way to put it is just, it leaves you guessing. And the thing is they're different. Like, psych thrillers are different from thrillers.
Mm-hmm.
And psych thrillers are different than horror. Horror films are usually more gory, there's jump scares, while thriller in itself is just tense.
Yeah.
This is the kind of stuff that bends your mind, and you're just like, what happened? And where did it go wrong? And I think the unreliable narrator really works in this.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I would, even in Joker, Joker has an unreliable narrator where we don't know what exactly is right.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a trend in psych thrillers to try and build that scene around this unstable person.
Yes.
Speaking of unstable people in general, one of the more recent psych thrillers that came out, Parasite, which is on Hulu, would you consider that a psych thriller? What exactly are your thoughts on Parasite? Because Parasite, I know Caroline, you were expecting it to be actually about a parasite.
I was upset, guys. I really was like, this is about a contagion, like a parasite. I was like, let's get our sickness on.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Not exactly.
It's a metaphor.
Wow.
What?
It's people were the parasites. Who would have thought? I mean, I did, but I figured that out 20 minutes into the movie, maybe more.
I mean,
or earlier.
There's a reoccurring theme of, like, eat the rich in it slightly, too. Just because, like, these people, yes, they're bad people. They did manipulate this family into hiring their whole family without them knowing, and they basically made themselves a parasite in their home, all the while finding another set of, like, a couple in their basement just living off of the rich family. And yes, this is a big spoiler, but
spoilers. Spoilers.
But I mean, there's so much layers to it, so many metaphors, and I mean, it just shows how corrupt some people can be, whether it's for their own gain or not. And I believe whoever died in the end deserved it. So, whoops.
I don't know if I consider this. I know it's a psych thriller, okay? I recognize that. But I don't know if I recognize it completely as personally a psych thriller.
But could you, like, I guess one question I would have is, did you, like, find yourself trying to guess at the end and thought you had it, but then your perception was completely changed by the actual end of the movie?
No.
Huh.
So
Interesting.
Okay, well let me explain that a little bit. Because there was a point where I was like, they let the maid or whatever her name is into the house, and she goes down to her husband, who's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, something's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna tell something, or something's gonna go wrong. Maybe I didn't know the entire sequence that was gonna go happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I did know, like, someone's gonna die. Something bad's gonna happen. And for the most part, I was right.
That shot where he creeps, like, pops his head out of the stairwell, like,
that
really
is actually terrifying.
That his eyes just like, ooh.
Mr. Kim, respect.
I can't even.
I mean, it was such, like, a diverse mental character kind of set too. I mean, you had the super crazy people in the basement. You had the mediocre people who are trying to do their best, but also it takes a lot of, like, self-discovery to, like, do bad things. But
in the end, do you feel bad for the rich mom?
Yeah.
No.
First of all, does her son die? We don't even know.
No, her son's fine.
Is he?
He passed out.
Well, no, he was having a seizure and they needed to get to the hospital within 15
minutes.
minutes.
Oh, that's right.
And
You're right.
didn't.
Yeah, that's right. They didn't care. They didn't,
just
they
saying.
Didn't show that.
But that's a scarred family. She passed out at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, she fainted because, I mean, she
Like,
did just watch people get stabbed.
She is a nice individual, but also she has the same tendencies as her husband, who doesn't really, like, respect the people that he has working for him.
But the thing is, I don't know if it's just a lack of respect or the fact that they're in a different social cast.
Yeah.
Like,
a completely
class,
different
yeah.
social cast.
So that just puts they don't know. They've never really had to live like those guys, so they don't know, like, if their house floods. First of all, they didn't tell them,
Yeah.
so you can't blame them on that.
Yeah.
But they don't know how to react to that or be like, oh, well, just buy a new one. Like, it's just not realistic. So I guess it is okay. I think the way they treat people, and even the way they treat people is, I don't even think it's disrespectful. And most of the time they're talking about the person behind their back anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like, everyone does.
Yeah.
Okay, what my question I guess now is, do you consider this a psych just because of the fact that there's so much manipulation towards one character to another?
I don't know. The biggest psych twist for me was when did this become an interview with me?
I don't know.
The biggest psych twist for me in it was discovering the secret basement.
Yeah.
That was a weird,
Well,
what?
That brought out the, like, thriller part of it. Because, you know, he ended up becoming a murderer and killing people.
But you can't be mad at the family for wanting to get jobs. They were poor. They didn't have money.
Yeah, but they were doing it in a manipulative way. And it did come back to bite them in the end when everything flooded.
So politicians aren't parasitic.
Oh, I'm not. I never said that.
I'm saying that everybody does it. Just because they're doing it doesn't mean that they're worse than everybody else.
And I think the movie is a big slap in the face to people in some cases.
Yes.
Like, if some people are watching it, they're like, oh, I do this. Or like, ooh, this is me.
Yes.
I feel
Try
like
and
I'm
climb up the
manipulating this
ladder.
person, or that kind of thing. If you were in the Kim family's case, would you, like, if you were in the house and they were coming home, would you be able to sneak out and successfully?
I'm a
Because
small
I
person.
was so tense during that moment because they were so close to getting caught so many times.
I'm a small person. I can fit everywhere. So I would find some way to sneak out.
I would try to sneakily sneak out, you know, but I don't think I'm as stealthy or as creative as they were. I would just probably do what I think, Chris, you said when we were watching it. You were like telling them, no, just wait till they fall asleep. Or it was Caroline. I really can't remember right now.
Probably
but
both of us.
yeah, but I would just wait until everyone's dead asleep and then just try to sneak out then. But it was so intense.
But they tried to do that, and then they woke up.
Yeah.
Because, and I was like, oh, okay. But
I think one thing that was really impactful for me in that movie was the fact that the lights weren't motion censored.
Oh.
Ooh, that the lights were controlled by the guy?
The lights were controlled by the guy the entire time.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty mental.
First of all, how do you move into a house just assuming it's on motion sensor? Also, does that mean he can somehow tell when they're directly, like...
I believe he
could
can
probably
hear them.
I could probably hear them come in.
That's metal. Like,
Yeah.
And he was there long enough that he knows their routine, so he knows when Mr. Park comes
True.
home. Like, he knows when everybody's coming in and out.
that's gotta change sometime, though. Your routine is not the same every day, contrary to belief.
I don't know.
I don't know. It was really good. We also watched Silence of the Lambs today.
Yeah.
Watched that a few hours ago, actually, before we came
Yeah.
to record.
What'd you guys think? I love the movie. It's Hannibal the Cannibal.
I hate that. Okay, I'm gonna go out and say it. I didn't love the movie. I do love Hannibal the show.
Well, that's because you watched Hannibal the show before you watched Hannibal the movie.
Yeah. But I don't know. There was just a certain je ne sais quoi that
Well,
was
of
missing.
course.
And
I just like that Hannibal Lecter is like just the mastermind. Like, he was controlling people in the movie.
Oh yeah, that's great. I love that.
Yeah,
but
I like that element to any psych thriller for that matter, not just Silence of the Lambs, but I like that he's able to kind of manipulate people.
I think that was the only part that was really psych thriller in that whole movie.
Yeah.
Right, was that he was messing with her?
No, when the part when he pulls off the other guy's face,
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
they didn't know. Oh, that
was pretty mental.
That's something else.
That was pretty cool. I like that.
that one was one of those moments where like I knew something was up, but I did not guess.
I was like, "There's no way Hannibal's
Yeah.
dead." Like, I saw him in the elevator, and I was like, "There's no way."
That's a really bad ending for a movie.
What is it?
I mean, he just walked away, and there are sequels, and there is the TV show. So, I mean, his story continues into, like, most of his life if you add the TV show and the prequels and the sequels. So, I mean, there's a lot of Hannibal to be had.
I definitely like the show, though, because the way they mix music and the way... Okay.
But this was made it started in 2014-ish?
No.
So...
But but it's poetic in a way. And I like the symbolism behind it and all the like crazy things that Will Graham sees throughout his time.
Yeah.
That's really cool to me.
I definitely agree. Like, I really enjoyed the show and how creative they got with certain things, but I think the point of the movies, especially since they were made before the TV show, was that this is showing him after he did all of these things and he got caught, so now he's playing the villain versus his cover.
Which is fine. I still appreciate the movie as it is.
Thanks.
For recommending it to us. Thank you. And I wanted to read the book for a long time, but I had watched the actual show first, and I guess I just like Mads too much.
Well, of course, everyone loves Mads.
I'm spoiled.
Oh, Mads Mikkelsen's a pretty good Hannibal Lecter, I think.
Yeah.
He's Danish. I like the Danish. I don't know. Kaitlyn, have you seen the movie Circle?
I have not.
I know I made Chris watch it because I watched it by myself one time.
Yeah, that movie was mental.
It's a Netflix original, I think.
Is it?
Pretty sure.
Well, it's on Netflix.
Regardless, it's on Netflix. And I love this movie because it's so, like, it's in one room the entire time.
Except for, like, the very
Except for the
end.
last, like, ending scene. And you're watching the whole time as these people are just deciding who survives. And you're like, okay.
And you have the most diverse group of people. You've got, you know, you have a pregnant lady, you've got every race, you've got a child, you've got
old people, you got young
old
people.
You have a army soldier, you've got a doctor, you've got a bunch, you know, you got a bunch of
like a
people.
criminal or something. I don't know. I don't remember
Police
everybody,
officer.
but like, it's really diverse, and it really shows you that there is racism and sexism and ageism, no matter what. Because if it's a life and death scenario, if you're 25 and the other person is 62, you're going to be like, oh, well, I deserve to live because they've lived longer, right?
Right, and I'm younger and I can make more of a difference on the future, right? Like that's the kind of mentality you get, but...
Whereas like a 30-year-old versus like a 20-year-old is like, I have kids, you know, to take care of and they need me.
Or I would like to have kids in the future, like that kind of thing.
Yeah,
you know?
So it really... And the whole time you're thinking, who's going to be the last person? Because it's weeding down the entire time to see who's going to make it. And most of the people have a general consensus of the pregnant lady or the kid.
Wow.
That's the hardest decision.
And I am not going to spoil the ending for this one because I really want people to go see it. But it's a good one. It's a good ending.
Yeah, if you have a Netflix account, go watch it. It's worth.
Oh, I have an idea, but I think it's definitely wrong, but I'll be quiet.
No, now you have to talk.
Well, yeah, say it. Who do you think lives? We're not going to tell you whether you're wrong or right.
Or do you have a different idea?
Well, the pregnant lady has the child, and then they sacrifice her child so she gets to live.
No, they only have a few minutes, and it's not ready.
Yeah, they have certain time between each person.
No baby ready for out of the oven. Anyways, it was a silly idea.
Well, I appreciate your effort.
Yeah.
I made you guys both watch Would You Rather, didn't I?
Yes.
What do you think about that one? This one's also on Netflix.
That was an interesting one.
This one just shows me how messed up people are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Not even just like the main guy. So Would You Rather, the scene basically is all these people that really need money for different, I would say, reasonable causes.
Yeah.
And they have to go around and around on their table during or after dinner. And they have to pick, like, would you rather stab yourself or the person next to you is one of them. And for some people, that's got to be hard. For one, I would not like to stab myself in the leg. I don't know if I could if I was in that scenario.
Yeah, no, I don't think I could bring myself to do that. As much as I'd hate to do it to another person. Like, if I had no choice.
To be selfless or to be selfish? That's the question.
I am a selfish person. Mainly because I don't like pain.
Of course. That's reasonable.
And then there's one where it's like, hold your breath underwater for like 6 minutes.
Yeah.
That's rough.
that's not possible. Like, you're just not gonna, I mean, it is possible, but like the general person, that's not possible.
Mm-hmm.
Or, spoiler alerts for this one too. But there was a scenario where this guy had to either do one thing, I don't remember what it is, or cut his eye with a blade. I could not do it. You know, eye things mess me up. That's wrong.
Yeah, that is the worst. Needles or any sort of sharp object to the eye.
I would rather die
That's rough.
than get... Oh, gosh.
But then you could kill someone else and wouldn't have to deal with it in this situation.
But he didn't want to.
Would you rather, though?
See, this is where the line is drawn.
This is where I find out how bad of a person I really am. Because I'm like, well, I think I know where an artery is on a person.
Oh.
I don't have to be hurt, but they could.
Jesus.
And there she goes.
I'm just going to stop there. I don't know. I love psych thrillers.
Okay, so Caroline and I know you and I have watched this show called Black Mirror.
Yes.
Pretty often. I know, Kaitlyn, you've only seen a couple.
I've watched a few episodes, and they are super intriguing, but also it's a lot to stomach.
It is a lot to stomach.
I can't agree with that because I just binge it.
Well, that's you.
Several times.
Did you do the Bandersnatch?
Yes, I
episode?
did. That I actually was not very impressed with personally.
Rude.
But that's just me.
Jeez.
I mean, it's your opinion, but it's wrong.
Wow.
Thank you.
Well,
really
do you
liked
remember what ending you got for Bandersnatch?
That was like almost... Oh, no.
That was a
I do
hot
not.
minute ago.
I know.
Yeah.
It was a while ago.
I know I don't remember my original ending because I went back so many times and
But
just to see them all.
if you haven't checked out Black Mirror Bandersnatch, or if you don't know what it is, go on Netflix and check it out because you basically choose what happens throughout the movie. There's prompts that come up and you get to pick which path you want to take. It's kind of like a choose your own adventure kind of thing, except it has a pretty drastic impact on the end, no matter based on what you do.
So you have to be careful.
So you have to be real careful, but it really messes with you at times, and you're like, whoa.
And it only works on certain devices. So if it's got the like little red star thingy, then you can use it.
That's true.
I do think as a film student, this is something that's unprecedented and also just really creative and clever. I like the fact that everyone can have a different outcome because that's another one of my like things is that I love that everyone can have a different experience with watching films and TV shows especially. So I mean, it's really nice that they have their own creative way. And I mean, it's solid in an idea. I may not like the premise, but that's just me.
Oh, and instantly, like, guides came up. How to get every ending in Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Bandersnatch.
Like the day of.
Oh, the day of.
Yeah.
People were grinding.
They were
really hard.
They were ready. I was ready. I was excited. Netflix has actually started doing more of those. I know they just came out with another one.
Ooh.
So
Really?
I think those choose your own adventures are really fun.
Yeah.
And I definitely recommend looking at them,
But
even if they aren't psych thrillers.
Black Mirror as a whole, not just Bandersnatch, but
Right.
the actual show. What do you think of it? How does that rate on a psych thriller kind of spectrum? Because I know each episode's really different.
It's hard
so
to rate
it's
because
hard to
each one
rate.
is so different. I would say some of them 0.
Some of them are not
Some
psych
of them are
thrillery at
not
all.
what I would call psych thrillers, like San Junipero.
Really? San Junipero?
That's not a psych thriller.
Uploading your consciousness?
That's not a psych thriller.
Okay.
There's no way.
Yeah, I guess there really isn't any thrill there.
Feel free to argue with me, somebody, but
I wish I could. Like, all I can remember is the last episode I watched, which was the one about her husband dying and she was pregnant, so she bought an electronic version of his body.
see, I wouldn't consider that one a psych thriller either.
I don't think so, but like that's just in my memory now. I can't throw it away.
I wouldn't consider any of those psych thrillers either, but those just mess with your head.
Let's see. Shut Up and Dance.
Shut Up and Dance is a really good one.
That one's a psych thriller.
Yes.
You can fight me on that. Let's see what else. I would say Nosedive. If you want details, I'm giving you the actual titles of the episodes, so go watch them if you want to know.
Yes.
There's another one. What is it? The one where it's like they have, like, in their eye, it's like you can rewind.
Is that the entire history of you?
The entire history of you. I would consider that a psych thriller.
I agree.
So
They're all messed up in their own ways. But they're really cool to watch. And and while some of them aren't thrillery, I would definitely, if you're looking for something to really screw with your brain, it's something to check out.
They're psychological in general. Not necessarily thrillers.
They're just psych movies.
But they're all gonna mess with you. Probably all of them. There's a couple. It's like, nah.
There were a couple that are a little predictable, in some cases too.
Yeah. I like them all though. I think for the most part.
Yeah. Oh, they're all definitely good.
I recommend watching those. Any order works too.
Yeah, I mean they're not connected, so that's kind of nice.
Yeah, exactly.
I do have a few movie recommendations that wouldn't necessarily fit with this list, but they're good mess with your brains.
Shoot.
Yeah, M. Night Shyamalan's series that starts with Unbreakable and then it's Split and then Glass. I definitely recommend that because it does have some superhero movie tendencies, which is really interesting to me, but it's also in a more psychological mess with your brain style, which is just amazing. And of course they all connect, and it's a good watch if you need something a little out of the ordinary.
Yeah, I've seen the ads and trailers for those movies, and they all look really mind-bending.
Yes.
Pretty much.
It's definitely something that it's still in my brain.
And they have a really good cast.
Yeah, definitely. And I also recommend Jordan Peele's movies Get Out and Us.
I have these on my list.
Get Out is awesome.
Yes, they're not connected, but they have phenomenal casts, and it shows stereotyping and all these other things, and it's just a bunch of what if this happened.
Those are true psych thrillers.
Yeah.
Those are really good.
I like what ifs. You know I like what ifs.
Are they thrillers or are they horrors? Because there's a lot of blood that comes up eventually.
But okay, does it mess with your mind?
Yes.
Then it's a psych thriller.
Okay. But like also
that's my distinction.
I would say horror movies are like far more focused on just pure killing.
They also can be both.
Like,
they can be psych thriller and horror combined.
I'm gonna contest that the Jordan Peele movies are both, just because I had to go back and analyze what I had just watched.
That's psych thriller.
I would say horror movies are just focused on pure like scaring. Like they're just purely designed to scare you, which is the whole reason of horror. And then thrillers are more to just like
blood pumping.
To be like, make you tense.
Yeah.
And get your heart racing, that kind of thing.
That's what I was saying earlier.
Yeah, I definitely recommend Jordan Peele's recent movies. I watched him in Key and Peele, and I'm like, wow, he's a great comedian. That's just silly and stuff, but he makes literal, actual good movies, and I appreciate the hell out of it.
That aren't even comedies.
No,
they're
like,
not. They're
Polar
not anywhere close.
No, but
it's phenomenal.
Yeah, I only saw Get Out, but I haven't seen the other one yet.
Recommend.
But it was very, very good when I watched it. So really excited.
I have one book recommendation for this because I realized I love psych thriller books as well as TV shows and movies.
Valid.
But apparently I don't read that many.
Also valid.
Because I was looking through my list of books that I'd read, and I just realized that maybe the last one that I remember is The Widow by Fiona Barton. I got an advanced reader copy of it. It was really good, kept me guessing, did not guess the end, and it's a series. So I think that's all we have to talk about today.
Yep, stay tuned next week. Where we're going to be talking about Star Wars. Kaitlyn and I are going to be having a good discussion. Good discussion about the about the sequel trilogy, and about the effects of the last movie on the Star Wars fandom.
I can't wait to battle you on it.
Oh, it's gonna be an intense lightsaber duel happening in
here.
Yeah,
I'm so excited. Thank you, Kaitlyn, for coming.
Of course, I love it here.
It's always a pleasure having you on.
Yes, of course. I love you guys, and I'm so happy that I get to do this with you.
We love it too.
Yeah.
All right. Stay tuned for next week.
Bye.
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 Insert Nerd Topic Here is hosted by Caroline Vaught and Chris Rogers.
Connect with us on our social media pages. On Twitter @NerdTopicsPod. On Instagram @NerdTopicsPodcast. On Facebook, insert Nerd Topic Here podcast or @Nerd Topic Podcast. Or subscribe on YouTube, insert Nerd Topic Here.
Reach out to us via email at insertnerdtopics@gmail.com. New episodes release every Saturday at noon Central Time. Thanks for listening.